Nigeria has large, powerful dams, yet millions of Nigerians still live without electricity. In reality, Nigeria produces only about 4,000 to 5,000 megawatts of electricity for over 200 million people, which means most people get only a few hours of power each day or none at all. The country has several major hydroelectric plants, including Kainji, Jabba, Shiruru, and Zungeru. Together, these dams should, in theory, provide a significant share of the country's power. Yet most Nigerians still struggle with frequent outages and unreliable electricity. This raises a simple question. If the country has power plants, especially hydroelectric dams, why is electricity still unreliable? Let's break this down. To understand this, we first need to look at where Nigeria's electricity comes from. The country relies on two major sources, gas and hydropower. These are some of the largest and most important power plants in the country. On paper, this looks strong. However, the reality is very different. Nigeria's total installed electricity capacity is about 12,500 to 13,500 megawatts, yet it typically generates only about 4,000 to 5,200. In simple terms, Nigeria is using less than half of its power capacity. It is like owning 10 generators, but only being able to switch on 3 or 4. Even more concerning, the transmission system can only carry about 3,000 to 5,000 megawatts, meaning that even when more power is generated, it cannot be delivered to consumers. Hydropower itself plays a major role. At times, it contributes a large share of the electricity on the grid. However, even here, Nigeria is far from utilizing its full potential. The country has an estimated hydropower potential of up to 14,000 megawatts, yet only about 2,400 megawatts are currently installed. This means Nigeria is using only a small fraction of what its rivers can produce. So, why is hydropower not solving the electricity problem? The first reason is underdevelopment. Many potential dam sites have not been built or completed. The second reason is independence on water levels. Hydropower depends on rainfall and river flow, so during dry seasons, electricity drops. The third is aging infrastructure. Many of Nigeria's dams and power systems were built decades ago and are poorly maintained. Studies indicate that power plants often operate below capacity due to equipment failure and a lack of spare parts. The fourth reason is transmission failure. Even when electricity is generated, it cannot move efficiently across the country because the grid is weak and outdated. This brings us to the fifth reason: frequent grid collapses that cause nationwide blackouts. In January 2026 alone, the national grid collapsed 3 times, bringing the total to 6 collapses in the past 6 months. Finally, there is over-dependence on a few major plants. A small number of dams supply a large share of the country's electricity, making the entire system fragile. Putting all of these factors together, it becomes clear that the real issue is not simply power generation, but the entire electricity value chain. Electricity has 3 stages: generation, transmission, and distribution. Nigeria struggles in all 3. It does not generate enough power, cannot transmit it efficiently, and cannot distribute it reliably to homes and businesses. This systemic weakness is why the power supply remains unstable across the country. The economic cost of this failure is massive. According to estimates from the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank, Nigeria loses about $29 billion annually due to unreliable electricity. Other studies estimate losses of around 5.2% of GDP annually due to power outages. This translates into billions of naira in lost productivity every year. Businesses cannot operate efficiently. Factories shut down. Small businesses rely on expensive generators, and entire sectors slow down. In addition, Nigeria's power sector is trapped in a cycle of debt. The government owes generation and distribution companies over 4 trillion naira, including unpaid subsidies and obligations. Many government agencies and everyday customers also fail to pay their electricity bills on time, leaving discos with billions in uncollected revenue. In 2023, Nigerians owed discos roughly 385 billion naira in unpaid bills, and government ministries, departments, and agencies owed over 100 billion naira more. Because so much money is owed, many power companies cannot afford to maintain equipment, invest in new infrastructure, or even buy fuel for generation. The debt problem also spreads within the market itself. Distribution companies collectively owe about 2.6 trillion naira to the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading Company, creating a circular debt loop where one company's unpaid liabilities become another company's loss, and so on. Lenders and investors are wary of injecting new money into a sector weighed down by legacy debts, making it harder to fix aging plants or expand the grid. As a result, even when power is generated, there's insufficient investment to sustain operations, maintain infrastructure, or deliver electricity reliably to customers. It is important to note that operating power plants comes at a cost. Hydropower is expensive to build. The construction of the Kainji Dam cost about 282 billion naira. Maintenance is also costly. For instance, repairs at the Jabar plant alone were estimated to cost about 13.6 billion naira in 2021. These figures show that building and maintaining dams require a huge investment. However, once built, hydropower is relatively cheaper to operate than gas plants. This means the real problem is not the cost of generating electricity, but the inefficiency of the system around it. The bigger picture is clear. Nigeria has rivers and dams, and it has installed capacity. What it lacks is a fully functional and efficient electricity system. Power plants do not operate at full capacity. Transmission lines cannot carry enough electricity, and distribution systems cannot deliver power reliably. As a result, millions of Nigerians remain without stable electricity. Ultimately, Nigeria needs an efficient system for generating, transmitting, and distributing power. Electricity is the foundation of productivity. Without it, growth slows, and basic services like healthcare and education are adversely affected.